Hi all and welcome back. Tears of a Clown, or Tears of Several Clowns, as we're going to out some more of their clandestine stuff that they've been up to in this next phase. And this is called HT LINGUAL, which was a secret project of the CIA to intercept mail destined for the Soviet Union and China that operated from 1952 and apparently was suspended in 1973, but you all know what that means. Now, it was originally known under the code name SR Pointer, and the project authority was changed in 1955 and then renamed. Now, early on, the CIA collected only the names and addresses appearing on the exterior of mailed items, and if you believe that, you'll believe anything. But later, they said, they were opened at the CIA facilities in Los Angeles and also, go figure, New York. Now, the program had the stated purposes of obtaining foreign intelligence, but it also targeted domestic peace and civil rights activists as well, and mailed to and from prominent individuals such as Bella Abzug, Bobby Fischer, Linus Pauling, John Steinbeck, Martin Luther King, Edward Albee, and Hubert Humphrey was opened during the course of the operation. It said a total of 28 million letters were examined and 215,000 were opened. You see, Big Brother was alive and kicking long before Orwell's 1984 book came out, or the internet. Next piece, Echelon, which says the main spying network for Five Eyes, which is now none. Their eyes got poked out. Now, originally it was a secret government code name and is a surveillance program, signals intelligence, SIGINT collection and analysis network operated by the United States with the aid of 4 other signatory states to the UK-US security agreement, and that was Australia, Canada, New Zealand and the United Kingdom, like I said, also known as Five Eyes. Now, the Echelon program was created in the late 1960s. I believe it was earlier. To monitor, it is said, the military and diplomatic communications of the Soviet Union and its Eastern Bloc allies during the Cold War, which, as we all now know, is a load of nonsense. Essentially, it's just to spy on everyone. And it was formally established in 1971. Now, by the end of the 20th century, the system referred to as Echelon had evolved, no surprise, beyond its military and diplomatic origins into a global system for interception of private and commercial communications. In other words, all your phones. And was mass surveillance and also industrial espionage. Now, the former NSA employee Margaret Newsham claims that she worked on the configuration and installation of software that makes up the Echelon system, while she was employed at Lockheed Martin from 1974 to 1984 in Sunnyvale, California, and also in Menwith Hill, England, in the UK. For those that don't know, that's in Yorkshire and has a number of very unpleasant ETs underneath that base. Now, at that time, according to Newsham, the codename Echelon was the NSA's term for the computer network itself. Lockheed called it P415. and the software programs were called Silk, Worth, and Sire. And, quote, listen to this closely, a satellite named Vortex intercepted the communications. Remember I was talking last week about the lead paint? You're talking over 50, 60 years ago. Now, an image that is available on the internet of a fragment apparently torn from a job description shows Echelon listed along with several other code names, which is a global network of electronic spy stations that can eavesdrop on telephones, faxes, computers, etc. It can even track bank accounts. And this information is stored in Echelon computers, which can keep millions of records on individuals, all stored largely, though there are other server based in Utah. No surprise. When these records were about to be destroyed, the CIA purchased a garbage collection company to collect all the documents that were about to be destroyed. They're involved in anything and everything. And that's another tactic they use that the average person is completely unaware of. Agencies going through your trash. You know, what stupid half-ass retard is employed to do that, and why? You know, hi Johnny, what do you do for work? I go through people's trash cans. It's called the raccoon department. It's unbelievable. Anyway, the former NSA analyst Perry Felwak, under the pseudonym, oh, they love their pseudonyms, a bit like Larry Large and Barry Bigham, Winslow Peck first blew the whistle on Echelon to ramparts back in 1972. And where he gave commentary revealing a global network of listening posts and his experiences whilst working there. Now, Felwak also included revelations such as the existence of nuclear weapons in Israel back in 1972. See how the stories connect? That's why Mr. Vananu comes in. And also the widespread involvement of the CIA and NSA personnel in drugs and human smuggling. Oops. 1972 that was. People think human smuggling and child trafficking is a recent event. Oh no. This has been going on for decades. And it also highlighted CIA operatives leading nationalist Chinese Taiwan commandos in burning villages inside the PRC borders. Oops. Now, Echelon was also in all the Israeli embassies, for those who are new. It was crashed and burned, and that's why their embassies were closed. Oops. More revelations this time but it brings up the same people again, same organisations again. This time it was in the UK though. The British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and the communications security establishment spied on two British cabinet ministers back in 1983. The new US NSA spied on and intercepted the calls of Diana, the Prince of Wales, right up until she died in a staged car crash in Paris. with Dodi al-Fayed. Now, the NSA currently holds 1,056 pages of classified information about Princess Diana. Why have the NSA got it? What has America got to do with what happened to a British royal? You see, they hold all the information because they spy on Britain, Britain spies on America, Russia spies on America, and Americans spy on Russia, and they all pass the information round. That's exactly what Five Eyes and Echelon was all about. To get round country laws of not being allowed to spy on your own people, they just created a network and they all spied on each other. But they're not spying on political and military and government. It's the people. So 1,056 pages on Princess Diana, which has been classified as top secret because their disclosure, quote, could reasonably be expected to cause exceptionally grave damage to the national security. Now, according to reports, the damage would not be caused by the information about Diana, which is a complete and utter lie, but because the documents, it said, would disclose sources and methods of US intelligence gathering. Yeah, because they're gathering stuff for GCHQ and MI5, MI6. That's what they're doing. So it gets around the laws of that country. Now, an official insisted that the references to Diana in intercepted conversations were, quote, incidental, unquote, and that she was never a target of the NSA eavesdropping, which is a complete and utter lie. Because it said they were listening to her right up until the time she died. Now, UK agents monitored the conversations of the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan. And US agents gathered detailed biometric information on the 8th Secretary General of the United States, Ban Ki-moon. So it's not just us they're spying on. And in the early 1990s, the NSA intercepted the communications between the European aerospace company Airbus and the Saudi Arabian national airline. So they use it for commercial espionage. And in 1994, Airbus lost a $6 billion contract with Saudi Arabia after the NSA, acting as a whistleblower, reported that the Airbus officials had been bribing Saudi officials to secure the contract. No surprise there. And as a result, the American aerospace company McDonnell Douglas, which is now part of Boeing, won the multi-billion-dollar contract instead of Airbus. It goes on. The American defense contractor Raytheon won a $1.3 billion contract with the government of Brazil to monitor the Amazon rainforest after the CIA, again acting as a whistleblower, reported that Raytheon's French competitor Thomson Alcatel had been paying bribes to get the contract. Why do you need $1.3 billion to monitor the Amazon rainforest? Has anyone asked that question? Clearly it's not for the benefit of the Amazon rainforest, is it? And also revealed in the same document, in order to boost America's position in trade negotiations with the then Japanese Trade Minister Ryutaro Hashimoto, in 1995, the CIA again eavesdropped on the conversations between Japanese bureaucrats and executives of the car manufacturers Toyota and Nissan. Oh dear. This is all to keep the same corporations running and funded. That's what it's all about. The Halliburtons and the Bechtel and the Lockheed Martins and the Raytheons. They get all the funds and all the contracts. And if someone dares to give it to somebody else, in steps the NSA, in steps the CIA, in steps MI5, MI6, in steps the KGB, and in steps Pine Gap, notwithstanding Mossad also. It's a giant corruption. And here's some more. The family jewels, as it's called, is the informal name used to refer to a set of reports that detail activities that were conducted by the CIA, which was considered illegal or inappropriate, and these actions were conducted over the span of decades, from the 1950s through to the mid-1970s. And William Colby, who was the CIA director in the mid-70s and helped in the compilation of the reports, dubbed them the skeletons in the CIA closet. Now, most of these documents were publicly released in June of 2007 after more than 3 decades of secrecy, and the non-governmental National Security Archive, NGO, filed a FOIA request 15 years earlier. Now, according to the Family Jewels document released, members of the American Mafia were involved in CIA attempts to assassinate Cuban leader Fidel Castro, and the document showed that the CIA recruited Robert Maheu, who was an FBI agent, to aid Howard Hughes in Las Vegas to approach Johnny Rosselli under the pretense of presenting international corporations that wanted Castro dead due to lost gambling interests. Now, Rosselli then introduced Maheu to mobster leaders Sam Giancana and Santo Trafficante Jr., supplied with 6 poison pills from the CIA. Giancana and Trafficante tried unsuccessfully to have people place the poison in Castro's food. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's a whole new world. But that world is now being revealed at a record pace. But one must question, is it family jewels, as in diamonds and sapphires, or family jewels, as in Hebrew Zionist gods? Because that's where it stems from. Oscar Cebarora, who's working at Los Alamos, New Mexico, at the time of the Manhattan Project, and scientists were laboring allegedly to beat their Nazi counterparts in the race for an atomic weapon, and then passed sensitive information, it was said, to Soviet agents who knew exactly what was going on anyway, because the KGB and the CIA and the OSS were all working together before, during and after the war. Now, according to an article titled "On the Trail of the Fourth Soviet Spy at Los Alamos," and in the current issue of the CIA journal Studies in Intelligence, it was said that all of the children gravitated towards the Communist Party USA, In fact, the Zabrora family was part of a network of people connected to Soviet intelligence. Now, Max was brought into the communist movement by his Cornell friend Gibby Needleman, and he was a teacher for a number of years before going to work for Needleman's law firm. And his first wife's sister, Rose Bagel Aronell, was married to Louis Aronell, who is implicated in the KGB plot to kill Leon Trotsky. See how they're all connected? Oh, those nasty Russians again. Except Oscar Zabrora was born in Ohio and born to Jewish parents. Oh my. Communism is not and never was Russian or Chinese. It's Zionist Jewish.